Raila and Uhuru together to become President William Ruto, has now gone and picked this Raila whom he defeated legally or otherwise, and he has brought him and they're working together. Now, when those things happen under the Kenyan context, they are very complex to handle. It is very difficult to know who's telling you the truth. So to me, the way I play my politics and the way I understand Kenyan politics, listen to all the sides and see which one makes sense. Not which one is true, because you may never know the truth.
Yes.
Which one makes sense. And that is where I sit.
And do you think, just from the MCA Kilelesh also posted,
yes,
that Uhuru really influenced this? He was in the street of Addis Ababa, he lives with the other all business people from Saudi Arabia and Qatar, but you know them, people that trade in oil, only to influence this, and a lot of money were dished out also only to see Raila fail visit. Can you support this statement?
No, let me answer that. Yes. In fact, Alaya has also been hitting at me for saying what I say. Let me now say what I say, because it is important to say what we say, because we have a right to reply.
Exactly.
All options for me are on the table. If you are telling me that Uhuru was in Addis Ababa and he was all over trying to buy people, why didn't you buy more people than him? If you feel that there was a necessity for Uhuru to come in and work with you, if you felt he had a role to play, what does diplomacy say? Why didn't you people, first of all, go and sit with him? Some people have even brought Kalonzo Musyoka into the picture also. These are statesmen of our republic. These are people, even when the younger generation may dismiss them, people may not know the relevance of Kalonzo Musyoka or the relevance of Mukisa Kitui or the relevance of all these people who are old. Even me, most people have never, sometimes they may not even take me seriously. And yet the truth is, we are the institutional memory. We are the ones who can tell Kenyans, that is what I'm actually doing. I am reporting to Kenyans that the direction the country is taking is wrong. Why? Because I have historical examples which I can use to explain. All right. So when you have these contradictions between some people raising the issue saying, oh, you know, this thing, as far as we are concerned, Raila was lied to and everything. Let us assume he was lied to. Let us assume. And the people saying that are the ones who are supporting him and the ones who went with him, even some of them to Addis Ababa. Couldn't you people have done a better job? All right. I mean, because the contradictions and the issues which are coming up, the geopolitical numbers were being discussed amongst the groups.
Yes.
Right now, Africa is very, very sensitive to various issues. In South Africa, the government there, Zuma, is trying to do what was impossible to do by Mandela, agreeing to change the land tenure system so that he can correct a historical injustice to the people of South Africa, where the Mzungus have kept most of the land and the Africans only keep 9% of their total land. That is a very sensitive and complex issue. And yet, South Africa has gone to International Criminal Court and has filed a case against Israel for having attacked Hamas and everything. Of course, we know that Hamas is the one which attacked Israel, and that is how the conflict came. But when you are seeking this position, those are the sensitivities you manage.
Yes.
How do you talk to Zuma and explain to him why, as the Kenyan team, did you make the decision of pronouncing Israel, even when you know that we have Muslims in Kenya and we have Muslims globally who are challenged, who have an issue with the relationship between Israel and Palestine, the Arab world versus the non-Arab, the Christian world versus the Islamic world. So if you don't understand the complexity of those issues, then you simplify them. Then you start simply. That's why you hear people saying, oh, you know, the guy of NIS is actually a warrior and he's a Muslim and he betrayed us.
Yes.
That is so simplistic.
Some people call it resignation.
No, that is simplistic. Completely simplistic. That was not his job. His job is to collect intelligence and give it to the head of state, who then decides what to do with that information. So if there is a failure, it is the president's failure and not the officer's failure.
Yes.
So that if the president realizes he didn't make a failure, then he can fire him because he didn't perform.
So MPs like Caleb Amisi calling for his resignation and Musalia Mudavadi is nothing, not serious for you?
Very easy to do that. And yet the reality on the ground, I mean, some of us have raised different issues. I personally believe that we have so many well-educated, sophisticated ambassadors and people who have worked in the diplomatic service. These individuals worked for years and years. Some of them have done 29, 35 years, who have been given responsibilities of these regions. There are individuals you know who will sit with you and talk about South African region, the SADC region. They'll give it to you from 1963, how it came around, what has been happening, why Tanzania is in SADC and it is in EAC, which is something that most people are saying you can't be in two blocks, and yet it has survived. You must understand why Congo is in SADC, and that is purely because of Angola and Mozambique, which are two countries that have their own issues, but from the other side, they have an interest which they have been protecting for the African community. They have geopolitical and they are minerals. These are issues that you go very, very slowly and very quietly. I believe we made too much noise.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Mr. Senator,
Yes.
If I can ask you, do you think the way Kenya handled its own resources, or just carry on ourselves outside here, is it pleasing? Because when we saw the new AUC from Djibouti, sorry, the guy was just sick. We came with his president, wife, and few security personnel.
Yes.
Unlike Kenya, that we had almost a whole bus. Do you think how we manage ourselves, is it pleasing to the eyes of other people?
Thank you. I want to sincerely be honest about this matter. Our behavior is not in question because of what happened 2-3 days ago. Our behavior has been in question for the last 30 years. All the international organizations, the way we carry ourselves, the way we take positions. It's once or twice we made mistakes, but to a large extent we stabilized. If you look at the Kenyan foreign policy from Moi's time coming all the way, it has been kind of consistent. The difference, and I really, really hope that people don't misinterpret what I'm saying, the younger leadership that you have elected in this country is more interested in accumulation of wealth. He's more interested in keeping everything flashy. He's more interested in having everything to be more dramatic. He's more interested for very quick and fast gains. It's more interested in making noise. And yet there are certain things which you don't do by making noise. That there are some things which you carry slowly, meticulously. You plan, you coordinate, and make sure you execute with a given purpose and target to achieve certain results. So my argument is, if you now go back to what happened in Addis Ababa, you have members of the National Assembly and the senators and governors who flow to that place. They go and sit in social places. The whole night, 2 days before that, they're making noise and talking about how bado ni mapambano, and in fact, the way it is, Wambu has to be the president of Africa. Wasekao, we have got this one. Yes. It is already locked, and there's nothing anybody can do. And many of them then turned this national experience, which was supposed to be appreciated, not even enjoyed, appreciated by everybody. They were now beginning to own it and believing that if Ruto and Raila wins the AU seat, and they imagined themselves actually being at the airport in JKIA, and then flying maybe to Kisumu and they're in Kondele, and they'll say, we've just come with Baba just now. Now, those things, they do work. But there are times when they don't work. That Kenyans, we are too noisy. We are too loud. We look at other people with contempt. We don't treat our neighbors and friends with the respect they deserve. And that's why some of them are not voting with us. Yes. That's why some of them believe that, unajua hawa Kenya, tabia yao ni ile ya kawaida, mabepari. These are capitalists who want to be rich quick. Yeah? Get rich quick scams who are selling gold scams from Congo to where. That is the mentality that our country is now being seen as. And yet some of us are saying you can have young people who've been to school well, who can stand up and articulate positions of national favor or regional favor, and they can be given leadership positions and they can execute that responsibility, and they can do it and execute it very, very well. So it is us as a country to decide what we want. Yes. Whether we are going to get leaders who make noise, who scream, who want everybody to know what they have
The
done.
leaders who work.
Leaders who just are there for the show and for the drama,
Yes.
and of course, and then maybe we need leaders who are going to sit down and be thoughtful, come up with strategies and policies to change the status of our people, particularly poor people in this country.
Okay, as we finalize on this issue of AU,
Yes.
do you think what next forward? Some people think that he will come and not team up with Gachagua. Some people think that he will still come and work with Ruto. Like we see so many MPs saying that Raila will not be used as a tool to fight Ruto because they think that so many influential people that had hands in this Raila's failing may use it. So they want Raila to come back and team with another people only to fight Ruto. According to you as Mr. Senator Richard
Yes.
Oyonka, or do you think what next for Raila?
Sometimes a leader must sit down and ask themselves, what are you? Who are you? What do you stand for? How do you want people to see you 10 years from now, 50 years, 100 years? What is it that has made you to be given the opportunity to be respected and be loved by the people? For me, the most interesting thing that you must do is be honest with your people, right? And some of us, what was nearly heartbreaking our hearts is when Raila said he was going to work with William, which I felt was okay, so long as it balanced the country so that we don't go any extreme. But then, if Raila has come back and is going to join President Ruto, for example, I expect him to demand excellence from Ruto. I expect him to ask Ruto to stop abductions, make sure that Kenyans begin to heal, make sure that we stop the corruption that has made our country look like a banana republic, make sure that all these new programs introduced, whether it's NHIF, SHIF, whether it is university funding, whether it is whatever that he wants to do. I hope that because Raila was there in the coalition government with Kibaki, Raila was there with me in that same government, and I saw what a coalition government can do. Number one, people stopped stealing. They stole a little. The first 2 months of that coalition, 3 months, there was the stealing of maize, there was stealing of sugar, 2 scandals, 3 scandals. By the time we were on the second year of the coalition government, the reality is that actually that is when Kibaki was doing the Thika Expressway. Why? Because we are the ones who used to go and inspect it, even though we were in government, but we were in ODM. We used to look at selection university students. How is the money being given by help? We used to look at roads. Where is money going? How much is going to Nyanza? How much is going to Western? There was a more like give and take arrangement on what we were to do. So my point is, I believe that Raila will demand that the president serves the country fairly, that he will in fact be somebody who's going to understand that this republic needs a softer heart.
Exactly.
That the president cannot come and behave as if he needs excessive power than what he already has.
Okay.
Kenyans know him, they respect him, they gave him the vote. Can he please begin to fix the outstanding things which affect Kenyans, particularly the issues affecting the young people in this country? If you fix university funding, make sure she and SHAF is working. Make sure you come up with a program on how to adopt and accept young people who are going to get either through stimulus package programs within the county governments where people are going to get jobs like Kazi Mtihani, where vijana na kazi, and compress those. Make sure you have a clean system which is not corrupt. Make sure all the names are available. Make sure it can be done. Why? Because it's been done before and the money is always available.
Yes.
Look at our budget. We are now going 4 trillion.
Yes.
Jesus, that's a lot of money.
Mr. Senator.
Yes.
There is a time you almost shedding tears in Parliament.
Yes.
When you were saying, in Senate, when you are lamenting that some people are acquiring more than enough. Somebody wants to have over 1,000 hectares of land.
Yes.
Somebody wants to acquire over 7 luxurious cars.
Yes.
Then we say that the country is bleeding, the country we are suffering because there is a lot of debt.
Yes.
As a country. Yet people know, and it's written everywhere, that we just have few individuals that are mostly politicians, that are corrupt and they stole more than expected. What do you think if...
What is wrong? Okay. The constitution then has set up institutions. You have DCI, ODPP, you have got EAC, EACC. These are the institutions. If I have pronounced myself, can I give you a very simple example? Didn't we pronounce ourselves like me about the Adani story? Other than the president coming to National Assembly and announcing that this deal has been stopped, did anybody look at the legality or illegality of it? Stopping it now?
Nobody.
No. Is there any question that this same thing of their done is can repeat tomorrow? Most likely. If everybody's sleeping. All right. There was supposed to be an inquiry to find out exactly what really happened.
Yes.
What opinion did the Attorney General, Justin Muturi, what opinion did he give about that deal? Is there a possibility that the reason why his son is actually being abducted is because he was against the Adani deal?
Yes.
I mean, shouldn't Kenyans know? Then we are being criticized for telling you the truth. Why don't you follow the truth? Finally, guys followed after Amenya sent this thing to him. And by the way, this young man you see here is one of the people who told me the Amenya story. He's the one who told me, please, pick on this story because we are in a bad place. Hadn't I stuck on that story, that mentality that Kenyans have, that, oh, this one is now looking for money. In fact, no. Some of us are ready to remain in that house. I'm ready to stay alone. I'll be raising the issues that I think that are critical for this country. And it's not money that I want. I really need money. But I'm not going to come up raising critical public issues because I want to blackmail somebody. There are cases I've been told to blackmail this one, we make money. And I've called the person who are being told to be blackmailed, and I've told him I was told this, I'm not interested. Because one, I know you. Number two, I know this is office politics. So the job of the Senate, before 2023, the Senate was docile. The Senate was not proactive. We came in because some of us, I went to school after Nairobi University, I went to the United States of America. I know how counties who are supposed to be the states in America operate. I know how the Senate operates. I know my rights. I know what I need to talk about. So many of us are coming in and now beginning to engage the Kenyan public. I can't be the one who is fighting for you on the corruption that we are facing, for example, in my county. Then you ask me why I don't have money, and my salary right now is about 726,000. If you remove my loans and everything, you expect me to have money whereby I'm going to do projects, go and attend funerals, make sure I go for fundraisings and have all that. It means tactfully, the system we have in Kenya is deliberately set up in such a manner that I must participate in corruption to continue with my political life. And what we are saying is, I don't have to give the public any money. I don't have to go to my village in Kisi. If I'm able in good faith, yes, if I can donate something small, that is okay. But people must understand that my job is to say what is wrong. And not disrespectfully, but very factually, very honestly, and very sincerely, in that I expect that those who are in power, responsibility has been bestowed upon them. I expect them to work hard for our country, to move like other countries so that we can pick our poor people from the poverty and the corruption that exists today.
Okay, just the last question, Mheshimiwa.
Yes.
Honorable Richard Oyonka, we always believe here in Kenya that our second messiah is the senators.
Yes.
Because we see so many things, MPs normally go with the wave of
they go with the presidency.
Yes. So we always believe that at the Senate, that's where we'll get what is rightfully belongs to us.
True.
But why did you guys impeach Gachagua? Then it was said that money was dished out.
Thank you very much.
Are you one of them that?
Yes, I voted against Mzee Gachagua. But I told the Gen Zs this, and I want to say to you, who was the first member of the Senate who raised Gachagua's behavior? In that Senate, go and check. I'm the one.
Yes.
I went on TV. I said, this gentleman is talking about percentages. We have a nation state which must share the cake equitably. Why is he saying that these people went and wrote percentages and they're sharing the cake?
Then the share, yes, we have to.
Exactly. Exactly. Number two, people expect me to have known that at that time, as we were fighting and I'm in the opposition, what were we fighting about? Of course, we are fighting the government in office. Why did people expect me to rationalize Gachagua's existence, therefore, as they said, so that he can fight Ruto? My job is not to keep Gachagua to fight Ruto. My job, you gave me a job to evaluate him and judge him fairly and whatever, so that he's able to do what? So that he's able to be either a man who can defend himself and a man who can stand up and say, please don't hang me, because what has happened to me, he didn't come to the floor. So the option I was given, the last point, the Gachagua who was with William Ruto until impeachment is not the same Gachagua like the truthful man you see now. So why are you expecting me to have known that Gachagua was going to be a wonderful man now? Now I found him by accident. He's okay. He's a truthful man. He's talking about the things we've been talking about.
So it's like sympathy.
Which sympathy?
Because
let him
all
fight.
Of a sudden, he's a truthful man.
He learned from his lessons.
Okay.
We have all learned from our mistakes. We are all beginning to realize that the trajectory our country is taking is headed for destruction. Who was the first person who stood up on TV and in the floor of the House to say, I am aware that the reason why President William Ruto and Gachagua are fighting is because of business deals?
Yes.
So why did you expect me to save him? You know, I'm asking you people, this is what we are trying to fix as a country.
Yes.
We are trying to have leadership which accepts public service as number one responsibility and not dealing service, financial services, transactions of looting. Gentlemen, there is no contradiction in my positions. And if an impeachment motion comes to the House about President William Ruto, I will look at the evidence. I swear to God, and I will vote my conscience. And I hear people saying that, oh, you know, you guys were given money. By the way, how many senators did Gachagua have in the House? There were 10. Are you with me? If William Ruto's people were being given money, and I hear a figure of 10 million being counted, the truth is, even him at least he should have bought 2 of us. Even me, I could have been bought. If Ruto was giving me 2 million, he could have brought me 1 million so that there are 3, then I defend him. I didn't get any money from Ruto, I didn't get money from Gachagua. Which I thought he made a very good decision because he wanted to see who are people with him. But I've told him, even when I went to go and meet him the other day when I was introducing Fred Matiang'i, I told him, Deputy Governor, at that time you were doing a different job. Now you're doing a different job. Now at that time I finished with you, but it was not personal. And now I'm starting with you. Even this one is not personal, purely professional. If you take over leadership, and I spoke in my speech when I was in Karen, I said, if you people who are here are going to get leadership and you begin to behave the way this government has behaved, where you begin to do corruption deals, where you're going to discriminate about Kenyans because they come from a certain community, where you're going to basically maintain your driving speed of bad governance, I'll be the first senator from that government to start talking about even this one is as rotten as the past one.
Yes. So as we wind up, I want you, because every youth, let me just call them Gen Zs,
yes,
watching this clip. I just want you